are what you watch. Welcome to our program. Okay, we are ending the canvassing that has been going on for the past 2 weeks, and thank God we're at the end of it. And hopefully this Congress, did you realize that we're probably one of the last countries in the world that proclaim the president and vice president? Otherwise, it's just done based on what the institutions of the COMELEC have all over the world. Nevertheless, Congress is hereby given what you call a carte blanche exposure and coverage on behalf of media. So free media is out there covering all the congressmen and most of the senators who are leaving. Nevertheless, we're stuck with it, and you're watching it day after day, today being, I think, the last day, hopefully the last day, as promised, so the country can get on, whether be it electronic cheating or otherwise, or whatnot. Anyway, it's all going to go through, and if I'm not mistaken, Monday is the set date wherein the new president, first apparent, and then he's going to become elect, and then eventually president, and then after that, hopefully, wag naman yung failure. Either way, there are other issues that are very important that confront us every day. It's not necessarily just the politics, not just the reform that is in front of the president, not only the electoral promise. Here in this case, it's called walang korupsyon, walang mahirap. Now let's go a step further, something we've been talking about in this program for months on end, because we believe, not only as an advocacy, this specific topic of what we call the ASEAN biodiversity. It is not just apparent, it is real, it's impending, and it needs action now. Not just a political will, but on behalf of all the Filipinos, and not necessarily just the Filipinos, but basically the people of the world. So we here in our program take this very seriously, and we keep bringing it back, not because it's redundant. No, there are other issues that need to be talked about for all of us to understand exactly what's going on, what we call the environment. And let's forget about the keywords. Let's go straight to the issues. Now, with me every Friday, we've got Gil Santos, who's going to do our guest. We have two great resource people, and we're going to be talking about basically ecotourism. But before we go there, Gil, hi, how are you?
Hi, Harry. Well, what we decided to do this week, this Friday, actually is talk about ecotourism, because ecotourism connotes several figures, several configurations in the mind of several people. Some even talk about, what is it? Is that sex tourism? Is that healing? Medical tourism, whatever it is?
Or economic tourism.
Or economic tourism. There are many things. So we had decided we invited two of our most respected authorities on ecotourism. On my left is the only lady in this group today, is Dr. Donna Reyes, who is the executive director of environment studies of the Miriam College, and she has been in this business for quite some time. And next to her is the program development specialist of the ASEAN Center for Biodiversity, no other than Dr. Filberto Pollisco Jr. Yeah, I must emphasize the junior. Otherwise, they might mistake it for your father.
Yes.
Okay, let me go straight to the question. What exactly is ecotourism?
Ecotourism is a type of tourism which has a low impact on the environment. It promotes travel to pristine areas.
But ecology.
Yes,
tourism.
Ecological tourism.
Ecological tourism.
Yeah. But while it's called ecological tourism, eco really comes from the Greek word oikos, which is also the root word of economics. So
hindi ako malayo, economics.
Yes. So it really promotes economic development in the countryside, where you find pristine environment like national parks, marine sanctuaries, etc., while at the same time promoting the ecology and environmental preservation through education of the visitors, education of the public, education of the tourists, at the same time bringing income as an alternative form of livelihood for the rural communities.
And ecology means the harmony between man and the environment.
Yes.
Okay.
Pag sinabi mo ecotourism, hindi ibig sabihin niya dadaling kita sa Makati, daling kita sa Shumart, puro bato air conditioning, di ba? Ang labanan ng ecotourism, May damo, may mga trail, magbibisikleta ka, maglalakad ka. Wala naman air conditioning, baka electric fan, pwede naman, nipat. In other words, closer to environment and Mother Earth by not necessarily damaging the tourism site, but bringing to nature the whatever possible and yet livable. Hindi naman pwedeng sa lupa ka matutulog. So pwede lagyan ng konting bahay doon, maganda-ganda, pero ecology-oriented, is that it? Or environment-sensitive.
Yeah. But actually, there's another side of this ecotourism thing.
Ano yung side po na yan?
This one is what we call the cultural side.
What do you mean by culture?
So, well, the cultural, the history of the people, the tradition, and for example, now in Cambodia, when you go to Angkor Wat, you see those very big temples and the mother of all temples, Angkor Wat. And it reflects actually the culture, the religion of the population of Cambodia, and they're really cashing in on that.
So they do in Borobudur.
Yes.
So yun ang come on, yung reliyon, yung kultura ng mga tao doon. That's what people visit. So for them, for the outsiders to appreciate, they have to come and, for example, maintain silence. Don't walk around with boom boxes doing, hey man, what's going on? Di ba? Walang ganun nga, di ba?
It also promotes local food, local cuisine. So for instance, if you go to Bicol, you expect some hot chili.
When you say Bicol, I'm looking at lying, the best. Walang tatalo dyan. But you eat their local food, you play up with their culture, you respect the culture.
Yes.
Basically, that's the direction of ecotourism. In our country, ano mga examples natin, for example, dito?
Well, for culture, I think in vegan, what do you call this?
I've been to vegan.
Yeah,
the church.
The church is also in Ilocos Norte, no?
Yes.
Also go there.
Actually, marami dun eh.
Yeah.
Pagdating sa Northern Corridor.
Or for instance, in St. Paul Subterranean National Park, now called Puerto Princesa. Yes. Where you go inside the caves, you enjoy the cool atmosphere.
When you say ecotourism, can we have, for example, the Grand Hyatt being set up or the Holiday Inn? Alam mo, tourism is a very difficult thing. If you're talking about local tourists, in this case, local as in Filipino, national, no? Gaya niyan, sa Boracay, meron yung Manila tourists, meron yung mga foreign, ibang bansa, pumunta ng Boracay. Pero meron din yung tiga Iloilo. It's only 2 hours or 4 hours bus ride, eh. Diba? So, when you see the tourism there, it's really mixed. You have the locals of Iloilo and neighboring Visayan islands. You've got those from Metro Manila that come in, and then you've got the foreigners that come in, diba? And all have 3 different capacities of spending. Now, when I say ecotourism, pwede ba yung we still have the luxury of material blessing, for example, air conditioning? Pwede yun in ecotourism sites?
Yeah, well, not in ecotourism sites per se, but in the periphery.
So wag in the center of those. So when you mean ecotourism, your center of tourism is the culture, the heritage,
and the environment, and the natural resource.
Yeah.
Okay, how does that now match into what we call biodiversity, being our concern normally? Ecotourism is always good for biodiversity.
Yes.
Because it maintains the environment, but yet we allow the peripheral to be subjected to progress, buildings, steel, acceptable.
Up to a certain extent, isn't it?
Yes, up to a certain extent. Like for the instance of Gunung Ledang in Malaysia, they built a resort in the buffer zone.
Yes.
While at the same time, the inside portion of the national park is used for treks, it's used for swimming, it's used for other activities that are more nature-oriented. So we do promote green architecture in these areas where, for instance, you don't cut down the mountains,